What's up, soul sisters? Welcome to another episode of Turn Up the Love Live. Happy June, by the way. I can't even believe it's June. Holy crap, we're going to be halfway into 2018 before we even know it. Can you freaking believe that? I definitely can't. But anyways, today we're going to be kicking off the month of June with a brand new theme and topic. So for the month of June, I'm going to be sharing all of the things surrounding intuitive eating. So if you're someone who's wanted to learn more about intuitive eating, why I completely ditched diet culture to take on this new approach instead, and if you're really looking for more ideas on how you can build this long-lasting, healthy relationship with food in your body, be sure to join me every single Wednesday for when a new episode drops. We are going to be going live with a new episode at a different time. Normally, I've been doing the live episodes at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, but it's summer and things have changed up. Our schedules are different. So I asked the members of the Turn Up the Love Insiders, which is the private Facebook group that I facilitate for women who are looking to reconnect with food, come home to their bodies, and ditch the diet mentality. If you are wanting to become a part of that group, you can search Turn Up the Love Insiders on Facebook. But basically, I asked them what time would be best for them to be doing these Facebook Live discussions, and they had all agreed to 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So here we are, 8 p.m., beginning of June. And we got a new topic again on intuitive eating. So if you are new to hanging out with me, I'm Sarah Pettis. I am a body positive intuitive eating coach and the founder of termforlove.ca. And I help serial dieters to stop the self-critical body talk, obsessive calorie tracking, feeling guilty around food, and exercising for punishment by teaching them how to trust food and their bodies again. And again, like I said, today we're going to be talking about intuitive eating, but we're actually going to be talking about what in the heck intuitive eating actually is, because I figured the best way to start this conversation is by addressing what it is I'm even going to be talking about, because intuitive eating might be completely new to you. So if it is, I'm going to break that down for you today and also share why you should absolutely know what it is, especially if you want to learn how to trust food and your body again. Okay, so I'm also going to be breaking down the 10 principles of intuitive eating. I got to take my glasses off. They're starting to put pressure on my head. Either that or I'm getting a download again. You guys will know if you watch my episode, I tend to get this like immense pressure whenever I go live. I don't know if it's a Wi-Fi or what, but it just totally throws me off. So I'm going to take my glasses off. The top 10 principles of intuitive eating, I'm going to share those with you today. How intuitive eating actually differentiates from dieting, and how to get started on your own intuitive eating journey, because it's great to share all this information with you, but if you don't have tactical tips and ways to actually implement it, then you're just going to be stuck where you are. So I definitely want to share how you can definitely get started with intuitive eating right away. But before we get into today's conversation, I just wanted to ask you guys, and if you are watching the replay of this, please feel free to hit me up in the comments, whether you are watching on my blog. You can ever heard of the term intuitive eating? And if so, how would you describe what it is? How would you describe what intuitive eating is? And if not, if you've never heard of intuitive eating before, it's the first time you're ever hearing of this concept, what do you think it is? Based on just intuitive eating, what do you think that looks like? I would love to hear your guys' take on this. So I first actually heard about intuitive eating, I think it was about 2 years ago now, back when I was living and traveling across the eastern coast of Australia. So I actually picked up the book Intuitive Eating during my travels, and it was written by Evelyn Tribole and Elyse Resch. And basically, Elyse Resch. And basically, this book completely transformed my freaking life. Okay, you guys, it changed my flippin' life and turned it right upside down. It was almost like I had known all this information, but finally was giving me permission to be allowed to believe in it, right? And you'll know what I mean the more I get into it. And little did I know that when I picked up that book, that it would not only completely start my own healing journey and helping me to reshape and reform my complete relationship with food and my body, but it also completely changed how I showed up as a health coach. My practice forever changed, and how I supported and held space for women forever changed, and it changed the lives of the women that I worked with forever. I completely burned everything that I had been doing before, and I started completely fresh, all because of this book and this information that I received. So incredibly important, and I could not share this with you. I could not go any longer without sharing this information with you because, like I said, it changed my friggin' life. So if you are here watching live, let me know who here is absolutely ready to ditch diet culture and learn about the incredible world of intuitive eating. Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, I was born ready woman, and 1 being, not really interested. I'm going to stick with my diet. And if so, that's your prerogative. But hit me up in the comments, let me know, scale of 1 to 10, where you're at. Are you ready to learn about intuitive eating? It's pretty fantastic, you guys. Like I said, it was almost like this light, like from the heavens. It was just like, oh, when I read about intuitive eating, it blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. Okay, so what is intuitive eating? What is intuitive eating? Oh, Em's here. What's up, Emily? So good that you're joining me. It's so good to have you here. And she's an 8, so she's getting there. She's moving her way up. Awesome. So glad you're here, Em. Thank you. Okay, so what is intuitive eating? What is intuitive eating? So intuitive eating is actually, it's a philosophy. It's an idea of eating in a way that you're the expert. You are the expert of your body, and you're the expert of your own hunger signals. So you're not looking for outside support of telling you what to eat, when to eat, and how much. It's your own intuitive nature, okay? So intuitive eating is a lifestyle, and it's a style of eating that promotes a healthy attitude towards food and body image. And I mean healthy in all aspects, not just the physical body. So we're talking emotional health, we're talking mental health, we're talking spiritual health, and we're talking physical health care, okay? It's about eating when you're hungry, and it's about stopping when you're full, okay? So the best way to describe intuitive eating is if you think about a child, right? Or you think about you as a child. You typically knew what to eat. Like you knew when you were hungry. You probably go grabbing onto your mom's shirt being like, I need food. You knew when you were hungry, and you knew when you were full. Most of the time, you push your plate away and you'd be like, I'm done. I'm full. I don't need any more food. And most of the time, parents are like, no, you need to keep eating. You need to finish everything on your plate. And that's what my parents would do. They'd be like, no, you need to finish everything on your plate. Otherwise, we're putting it in the fridge, and you're going to have it for breakfast tomorrow. They would always threaten that. And, I think intuitive eating is so incredibly important for parents to learn, because the truth of the matter is when we're children, we're the most intuitive, and typically we are listening to our own hunger and fullness cues, and parents need to trust in that the best. I mean, it's challenging as a parent because you want to make sure you're giving the most proper nutrition to your children. But we are very incredibly enlightened beings, and especially children, they are just so awake, and they definitely know what they need and what's best for them as children, and they know their hunger and fullness cues. So when you think back to being a child, food was just food. You ate when you were hungry. You'd stop when you were full. It was really easy, right? It was just eating. Food was just food. There was no dramas, no second thoughts, no anxiety, no worry, just eating. Okay? So that's the best way to describe intuitive eating. Are you guys following me? Are you following? Okay, so can you guys think about a time, with that being said, can you think about a time where you ate intuitively and you just trusted your body? What did that look and feel like for you guys when you just ate intuitively and just trusted and listened to your body? What did that look and feel like? Hit me up in the comments and let me know how it looked and feel like. So the thing that you should know about intuitive eating and why it's so important to know what it is if you want to trust food in your body again is this. So research on the topic of intuitive eating is still growing, okay? The book Intuitive Eating was actually written in the 90s, okay? And the research on intuitive eating has been largely focused on women. They've been mostly studying women for this. And so far, these studies, they have all linked intuitive eating to healthier psychological attitudes, lower body mass index, BMI, not that I support that or care about that because I'm totally for the Hayes approach, health at every size, weight maintenance, and just overall good health, right? And also, one of the major benefits of intuitive eating, like I said, is the psychological aspects, so the psychological health. And I think that is so incredibly important because, as you guys might know, our society has skyrocketing rates of mental health issues and suicide. So I think this is extremely important to pay attention to. And people who were participating in these studies with intuitive eating, they had improved self-esteem, they had improved body image, overall quality of life was higher, and they experienced far less depression and anxiety, which seems to be one of the most common stressors on our society right now. Okay? So intuitive eaters are actually more likely to stick with intuitive eating and the program of intuitive eating and keep practicing the behavioral changes of intuitive eating than they also would on a diet. Okay? So these are all massive things, right? And other studies have also looked at women's eating behaviors, and they found that those who were actually showing signs of using intuitive eating were less likely to display disordered eating behaviors. Okay, so this and alone was enough evidence for me to be like, I gotta take a deeper look at this. This stuff, like, this is something different. All I know is the entire time that I've been a dieter and I've been stuck in the prison of dieting, I have felt more disconnected. I felt more upset and more frustrated. My hair was falling out. My nails were brittle, and now I have strong nails, and everything changed. Like, it was almost just like this clearly wasn't working for me. So and hearing all these statistics and these studies, I was like, okay, I gotta explore this deeper. Okay. So who here, based on what I've already shared, loves the idea of intuitive eating so far? Send me some hearts if you're digging what I'm saying and you're feeling me. I'm also going to jump in the comments. Emily just said a time that she felt like she was just eating intuitively and just trusted and listened to her body. It felt like she was just sustaining her body. It wasn't concerned with the shape or size of her body. I just knew I needed to eat. Yes, exactly. It was just about listening. Right? Just listening and connecting in and not getting in your head about all the other stuff that we fill ourselves with, right? So that's so incredibly important. It was just eating because you know that you needed to eat, and it should really be that simple. Like, ladies, we have more important things to do in the world than be obsessing about what to eat, how much, and if it's clean, and if it's not clean, if it's good or if it's bad, and how much we need to work off to burn that food. It's too much. Like, we have more important things to do in the world. And the patriarchy system is afraid for when we figure that out and we burn down the dieting lifestyle, because then we got lots of time to start stepping up and changing the flipping world. So I got some hearts from you guys. Beautiful. Thank you. Awesome. So it sounds like you guys are loving the idea of intuitive eating so far, and you want to know more. And I got more for you. So I'm actually going to break down the 10 principles that they actually address in the book Intuitive Eating. I'm not going to go too deep into them because I would rather encourage you guys to pick up the book and read it yourself. It is my Bible. I read it every single year because I just love the information in it, and I feel like it's so incredibly important to revisit. But I'm going to break down each of these 10 principles and let you guys know what they are, so that way you guys can know what the principles are of intuitive eating overall, okay? And then go pick up the book and read it yourself. So first principle is my all-time favorite: reject the diet mentality. Lose the diet mentality. Break up with your scales, toss out your trackers, get rid of the diet food, stop subscribing to before and after pictures on Instagram. Don't pick up any more dieting and weight loss books. Stop following a meal plan. Like, get out of the diet mentality. So the diet mentality is the idea that there's a diet out there somewhere, the perfect diet for you, that will work, right? And intuitive eating is actually the anti-diet. It's the complete opposite of dieting. So everything that dieting is, intuitive eating is the complete opposite of that, okay? So that's the first principle: reject the diet mentality. Number 2, honor your hunger. Honor your hunger. So, who here has had a hard time remembering what their hunger and fullness cues are because they've spent so many years in the trap of dieting and restricting themselves when they were actually hungry, or eating to the point where they felt nauseous because they had binged so much, because they had gone through this mass restriction. So we forget what our hunger and fullness cues are, oftentimes when we get caught up in the world of diets. And we punish ourselves when we're hungry, or we don't allow ourselves to feel hungry. We try to avoid, and we say that we have willpower when we can avoid certain foods, right? So honoring the hunger is knowing that hunger is not the freaking enemy. And that hunger is there as a cue that your body, you've been born with, to tell you when you need to eat, like we did when we were kids, right? So I want you to respond to those early signs of hunger by feeding your body. Your body says, I'm hungry, you go give it food. Come to think of it, I feel like I'm hungry, and I ate dinner like 2 hours ago, and now I'm like hungry again. So you got to trust the hunger, right? Like, who cares if it's 8:15? The old me would have been like, no, you can't eat. It's past 8. Kitchen's closed. Now I'm like, screw that. I'm going to go eat whatever I want so I don't go to bed starving and enjoy something so I feel satisfied, right? So it's about letting yourself feel the hunger. And when you do that, you're less likely to overeat because you're satisfied, okay? Number three, make peace with food. Make peace with food. And I say this one a lot. So basically, call a truce on the war on food. Stop judging food. Stop labeling food as good and bad. Food is just food. Get rid of these ideas of what you should and what you shouldn't eat. Okay? No more labeling food. No more categorizing food. No more cutting out entire food groups. We're going to make peace with food. Food is not the problem. Food is the teacher. Food is here to teach us what it is that we need to learn about our relationship with food and why we're feeling disconnected in this way. Okay? Principle number 4, challenge the food police. Okay? So this kind of goes into the one I just addressed about making peace with food. So again, Food is not good or bad. So challenge the food police, okay? Don't listen to people who are like, this food is good and this food is bad, and this food you shouldn't eat and this food you shouldn't, okay? Challenge the food police, okay? Challenge the thoughts that also make you think otherwise. We just need to get back to building a healthy relationship with food and making peace with food, and then we can talk about nutrition. But before any of that can happen, you got to first challenge that food police, and you just got to trust yourself again and start eating in a conscious, intuitive way. Okay? You guys feeling me? You following? Let me know if you're following. Hit me up in the comments with a yes if you're following. I know I'm kind of racing through this. Number 5, respect your fullness. Okay? So just as your body tells you when you are hungry, it also tells you when you are full. So I want you to listen to the signals of comfortable fullness. So when you are actually full, rather than, you're feeling full, you're eating things on your plate, rather than continuing to eat the whole thing, if you're full, put down your fork and be done with it, right? Or say you order takeout and the portion is too big and you're feeling full, put it in the fridge and save it for tomorrow, okay? So as you're eating, checking in with yourself to see how the food is tasting, how hungry or full you are, and how you're feeling. Respect your fullness. Okay, that's number 5. Number 6, discover the satisfaction factor. Okay, discover the satisfaction factor. So when you're eating, make your eating experience enjoyable. Okay? Make food that tastes good to you. Sit down to eat. Don't be eating while you're in the car or while you're working. Actually create a sacred experience around your food so you can feel satisfied. Make it a pleasurable experience for yourself, okay? And find foods that actually satisfy you. No more bland, boring salads or pieces of chicken breast that are barely seasoned with just like a side of broccoli. Like, no more of this bland, boring stuff. Like, what foods actually satisfy you? I know there was a lot of food from my childhood that was very nostalgic, and whenever I would eat it, it would just be so satisfying because it would bring back those memories that I have as a child, and it would just feel so good. I want you to go and eat those foods again, whether you've labeled them as good or bad, okay? So discover the satisfaction factor. That was number 6. Number 7, honor your feelings without using food. Feel it to heal it, baby. Feel it to heal it. This is a big one, okay? This is a big one. So emotional eating happens when you are wanting to cope with your feelings. Basically, you're dealing with these feelings that you don't know how to address, so you eat emotionally to deal with them. Okay, so I want you to find other ways that are not related to food to help you deal with your feelings. And this is where self-care is so incredibly important. This is why I prioritize self-care so much in my life, and why I truly believe that you have to really put yourself first before others, because if not, your inner rebel, your inner child is going to come back and come screaming and say like, I need care too. And that's usually when you turn to food and the disconnected eating comes into play. So work on your self-care, take yourself out for a walk, get into a meditation practice, journal, call a friend, call your mom, call your grandma, right? Do things that are loving. Book yourself an appointment with your psychologist, go to the doctor, go to the dentist. Like, these are all acts of self-care. Sometimes self-care could be literally taking a shower instead of working a little bit longer. Sometimes for me, that's a big act of self-care. So I just want you to get really aware of these times that you feel like your hunger is emotion-based, not actual hunger-based. So when you're wanting to eat, is it actually hunger-based or is it emotional-based? And really get clear on that and honor your feelings without using food. Okay? So that's number 7. Now, number 8 is respect your body. Respect your body, guys. Your beautiful vessel that carries you and carries your soul into the world. Respect her. Love her. Rather than criticizing her for how she looks, celebrate her for what she's capable of. She's capable of so much. right? From the second that you put your feet on the floor, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to have the gift of being able to walk and to move my body whenever I choose to. The second that you take a breath of fresh air, thank you for giving me life, another day to serve my purpose. The second you open your eyes, thank you for allowing me to see all that I need to see, the beauty in the world that is here. Like, we need to be appreciating our body for what she can do versus what she looks like, okay? This shifts everything. This shifts absolutely everything. Last month, we actually talked a lot about body positivity. So if you want more information and more resources surrounding body positivity, hit up triplelove.ca, check all of the posts I did around that, and that's a really good place to start. So before I get into number 9, I got a comment here from Emily. Yes, emotional eating, the go-to for a defense mechanism. Absolutely. Absolutely. We all have our vices. Every single one of us has our vices. And when things get loud, whether that be food, whether that be substances, whether that be an addiction to shopping, whether that be using sex, like, we all have our vices, and the thing is, if we don't deal with our emotions and we don't lean in towards them and allow them to come up and feel them, we use these other coping mechanisms to deal, right? But the thing is, and I say this all the time with the women I work with, it is like a friggin' beach ball underwater. The more you try to push the emotions down, the more it just wants to shoot up. And that's what will continue to happen, and you will keep manifesting situations into your life until you learn the lesson. So the best thing you can do is to feel it, to heal it. Okay? All right, let's keep moving down into these principles. We got 2 more to go. So number 9 is exercise and feel the difference. So I actually like to say movement. I'm not really a big fan of the word exercise because it reminds me of like working out at the gym. But feel the difference, okay? So find more ways to move your body that you enjoy. So shift the focus from losing weight and manipulating the body to feeling energized and strong and alive, and to receive the benefits that come mentally when you move your body, because your body loves to move, right? I actually wrote a blog post for Healthaholics, which is the wellness center that I work out of and do social media management for. And I wrote a blog on 3 reasons to love organic activity, which is a really good article, if I don't say so myself, where I basically describe organic activity and why it's so incredibly important if you want to connect and listen to yourself again and get more in tune with what she's trying to tell you versus punishing her for not doing a hard enough workout. So if you guys want to go check that out, you can just check it out on Healthaholics website, and it's a good one for learning about organic activity and how different that is from punishing exercise. Okay? So last but not least, we've covered 9 of the principles of intuitive eating. Last but not least, we have honor your health and use gentle nutrition. So the food you eat should taste and feel good to you, okay? So remember that it's your overall food patterns that shape your health, the things that you're doing day in and day out. So one meal or one snack isn't going to break your health. So if you ate a freaking ice cream cone, it's not going to freaking break your health. If you eat a chocolate bar, it's not going to freaking break your health. If you eat a cookie, it's not going to break your health. But if you're doing those things every single day, you're not going to feel so good, right? So it's about knowing how to pay attention to your food patterns and be gentle with yourself and not beat yourself up for eating one thing, like, good God, whatever, and more or less listening to your body to feel and listen to what works and feels good for her, okay? So those are the 10 principles. Just going to sum them all up to you guys one more time. So number 1, reject the diet mentality. Number 2, honor your hunger. Number 3, make peace with food. Number 4, challenge the food police. Number 5, respect your fullness. Number 6, discover the satisfaction factor. Number 7, honor your feelings without using food. Number 8, respect your body. Number 9, exercise, feel the difference. And number 10, honor your health with gentle nutrition. That is the 10 principles of intuitive eating. Do you love them? Do you love them as much as I do? Because I was like, holy crap, I feel like I'm off the hook for so much now. I can just live and enjoy my life. That's honestly what it felt like. It felt amazing. And this is the thing. This is the difference between intuitive eating and dieting. Okay? So, although this should be an intuitive process, right? For most people, when they get into intuitive eating, it is not an intuitive process whatsoever. Love the avocado, Em. She's the avocado girl, by the way. So it's, and most people think like, okay, this should be an intuitive process. For most people, it's not, right? And here's why. Because we've trusted in diet books. We've trusted in the so-called experts about what and when to eat, which can really lead us and pull us away from trusting our own body cues and trusting our own body's intuition. It pulls us away from that, right? And the problem with this is that we end up always turning to these experts because now we fear everything that we do. We fear that everything that we're doing is wrong, right? We're worried that we're doing it wrong because the media and society and culture and these experts that we've leaned on, they're just, this is right, this is good, this is not, this is bad. Like, it's constantly changing. It's constantly changing, right? And intuitive eating is the complete opposite of that. Like I said, it's the complete opposite of traditional dieting, which is set up around like rules and restriction and what you can eat and can't eat, right? And intuitive eating doesn't impose these guidelines about what to eat and when to eat and what to avoid. Instead, it teaches you that you are the best person and the only person to make choices for yourself. You know best when it comes to you and your body. You know best, okay? That's how intuitive eating is so incredibly different from dieting. Dieting is relying on the experts. Intuitive eating is relying on thyself, okay? And that's what I help the women I work with. I guide them towards that. I'm not giving you a freaking rule book. I always tell them the first thing, I'm like, don't be looking for a rule book. You got the wrong girl. I'm not giving you a rule book. We're going to figure this out together, but I'm not giving you a rule book, okay? And this is why, after being a weight loss coach for 4 years, hands down, the best thing I ever did to support the women I work with was by teaching them how to tap into their own power. I think that's what makes a great teacher, and I think that's what makes a great coach, and I think that's what makes a great guide. Someone who teaches them, the person that they're working with, that they have had the power within them all along, because we are all powerful. I am not a peer. I am just the same as all of you guys. I had to learn all of this too. I've done the work, so now I can speed up the process for you. But that is what makes a good teacher, I believe, is helping people to tap into the power that they've always had. Okay? So is this all making sense to you guys? Or am I just rambling? Is this all making sense? If you're following me and you girls are starting to see how intuitive eating is completely different from dieting, hit me up in the comments with that hell yes, sister. With a hell yes. Hit me up with a hell yes. So, to eat intuitively, oh, Emily said, agreed, self-empowerment is a great discovery. I completely agree, Emily. It's so incredibly important and necessary. And as women, we are powerhouses, and I just need more women to see it and feel it and tap into that, because how the world would shake if we all started to do that. How it would shake. So to eat intuitively, again, you may need to relearn how to trust your body. And to do that, you need to really be able to distinguish between these physical and emotional hunger cues. That's really the first place to start, right? So the physical hunger, really understanding when you're actually hungry, when you need to replenish with nutrients. And this will build gradually with time. Things such as like a growling stomach or fatigue or irritability. That's a really good way to know if you're getting hungry. And it is being satisfied when you eat any food. You become satisfied because you're no longer hungry. When you eat any food, doesn't matter what it is, right? And an emotional hunger, the difference is that this is driven by an emotional need. It's usually when you're feeling things of sadness and loneliness or boredom, or you're craving specific foods, comfort foods oftentimes, and your eating then causes guilt and it causes self-hatred, right? So be sure to actually tune in more next week because I'm going to be sharing a lot more about this and how to pay attention to your hunger cues. Hashtag hangry, like Emily said, nailed it. So I'm going to be talking a lot more about that. So tune in next week for more on how to differentiate because again, I know that it can be hard to relearn how to listen to these hunger and fullness cues. So who here, 2 hands, wants to learn how to trust food again in this way? And this kind, gentle, loving approach, intuitive way that helps you to tap into your own power. Who is ready to get started on this intuitive eating journey? Hit me up. You know what to do, my girls. Hit me up. So if you do think that you could benefit from learning about intuitive eating, here's how you can get started. Okay, here's how you can actually get started. So without judgment, big one, I still have to do a talk about judgment in my Term Love Insiders Facebook group. Again, if you're not a part of Term Love Insiders, come and join us. Search Term Love Insiders on Facebook. Maybe Emily can hit us up with the link in the comments. I want you to join us. But without judgment, got a hell yeah from Emily. She's here. She's ready. Got some hell yeses on Instagram. What's up, you guys? Okay, so without judgment, first thing, I want you to start to take stock of your own eating behaviors and attitudes, okay? So when you eat, I want you to ask yourself what you're experiencing. What you're experiencing. Are you experiencing physical or emotional hunger? Okay? And again, we're going to be talking about this next week. If it is physical hunger, okay, I want you to rank your hunger on a scale of 1 to 10. You know me, I love 1 to 10 scales. So from very, 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 very hungry, like ravenous, being 10, to 1 being ravenous and 10 being stuffed to the point that you almost feel nauseous and sick. So 1 is ravenous, where you're like starving, and 10 being like you're going to throw up because you're so full. Bless your heart, Emily. Thank you so much for posting the link to Term Love Insiders in the comments. Mwah. Okay, so I want you to start taking stock and inventory of your foods without judgment, trying to pay attention now to when you're actually feeling hungry versus when you're feeling emotional, and rate your hunger on that scale of 1 to 10. Does that make sense? So the goal here is to actually aim to eat when you're hungry, okay? The goal is to aim to eat when you're hungry, not when you're starving. Because when you're starving, that tends to be when we turn to more emotion-based eating, right? Because we're so ravenous, we want to eat anything but the kitchen sink. But when we're hungry, we're like, okay, hi, I'm hungry. What does my body need? You have enough time to prepare something that is intuitive, right? So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that ideal zone is what I call it. And it's usually when you're anywhere in between about 4 till about 6 on the hunger scale. Okay, and I do have hunger scales available if you want to have a look at what that looks like. Okay, and basically I created this incredible food diary that helps you to walk through this whole process. And it's pretty much your new BFF if you're wanting to really get started with intuitive eating. It really helps you to reconnect with food again. And no, it is not your typical food diary where you simply track like what you're eating and how much, and judging yourself for what you're eating and not wanting to write that you had a bowl of ice cream and a handful of cookies before bed. It's not about that. This is a diary that helps you to record your experience you're having with food and why you're behaving that way. It helps you to figure out what's going on behind the food in a compassionate way, okay? What's going on at the bottom of all of this, okay? And what's going on when you're feeling disconnected from food in your body. It's going to give you answers and awareness, okay? It's also going to help you to record the experience that you're having surrounding food, okay? You'll learn how to get conscious and aware about your food habits. You'll become, you'll start to know when these emotional experiences are going on and when you're using food as a coping mechanism versus for hunger, right? And to nourish. And you'll know what foods help you to nourish your body so that way you can feel your best. And you'll relearn these hunger cues that I'm talking about so you can feel confident about when you're hungry and when you're satisfied, okay? So it's about eating what you want to eat, not what you think you should eat, and it will give you that information so you know, okay? Because here's the thing, you guys. Here's the thing. I want you to rip off the Band-Aid solution that is dieting. We can't be doing this anymore. And I want you to be able to heal the root cause of the problem. I want you to fill up on self-love and not food. Because like I said, that beach ball is going to keep coming up if you don't. So this is typically something, the food diary is typically something I only offer to the women that I work with in my 90-day one-on-one Reconnect with Food mentorship program or in my 90-day group sisterhood program, so big package programs, or you can even grab it in my Reconnect with Food 2-week intro program if you really want to get an idea of what it looks like to do this intuitive eating work and really come home to your body and make peace with food. Because I know this is new, so I created an intro program to kind of give you an understanding of that. However, for the first time ever, I stayed up all night last night till 2 a.m. creating this offer for you guys. I'm now offering the food diary as a standalone product. You can get it for seriously $19. Okay? $19, you guys. $19. It's like 80 something pages long, a full food diary. You can use it digitally or you can use it, you can print it out. It's totally up to you. Get it bound and get it all nicely done at Staples. But yeah, it's available as of right now. I just posted it. So if you guys want to get more info on that, you can check it out by going to reconnectwithfood.ca/food-diary. I've also included it in the info section or the caption section of this video. All you got to do is click it and check it out. $19. It will be sent directly to your inbox right away. You don't have to wait for it, nothing. And it will help you to start eating intuitively. It's the absolute first step and the single most important tool in helping you to trust food and your body again. So I hope you guys love it. I hope you guys love this conversation all about intuitive eating. Like I said, if you are wanting to get more information on intuitive eating, be sure to join me every single week for the month of June, where we're going to be chatting all things intuitive eating. And next week, we're going to be digging more into hunger and fullness cues. I hope you guys had a great time tonight. Thanks for watching. And if you know anyone that would benefit from what I shared in this video, please be sure to share it with your loved ones and friends and all the amazing women in your life, because I cannot spread this message without you. Sending you guys so much love and hope to see you guys next week for another episode of Term to Love Live. Bye for now.